Hi everyone, it's Kev to Magpies YouTube channel. Welcome back to another video on my channel, and today we're doing a seasons predictions video. I know this is early, but it's an opinion on where I think that the teams will be on the ladder, and here we go. And also, I've got Adelaide last on the ladder. Now, it could be 18th, it could be 17th. I think they're a rebuilding team. They fell away massively throughout the after the 2017 grand final, with the camp stuff, all the rest, players leaving. Now I think it's time for them to even though they'll have to make some tough calls, but they're going to have to do it easily. So that's why I've got Adelaide 18th. Now 17th, I've got North Melbourne. Same thing, rebuilding team. I don't think they are that much of a good team, but they are pretty young. Now they did bring in Jaden Stevenson, they did bring in maybe a few players in the draft, but they've lost so many. I think that North probably had to rebuild. They want to play finals in the next 3 years, but let's be honest, they haven't had full rebuild, and I think they need to go down the and start again and really get in a rebuild. 2016, at the end of it, they made some tough calls to their senior players, and they probably didn't do a full rebuild and work their way up. So I don't think Adelaide, I can expect a couple wins. I think maybe the same for North Melbourne. Reality did hit that when Bratz got left, whether it was forced or not, I think that they had to rebuild, and I think that's on what I'm hearing, that's the report it would be. So I think now we got 17th on the ladder. I think it's great that and this might change during after the pre-season as well. Okay, so 16th I've got Essendon. Look, I think they are rebuilding. So if we can have a bit of put in contact that I think they have to rebuild. They lost Danaher, they've lost Saad, they've lost Fantasia as well. Three of their important players. Danaher is hot and cold, really. Other than that, that's about it. I think they need to start rebuilding, and the year was terrible to lose to a few of the teams that they probably should. They beat Collingwood and played well on that particular day, but they haven't really probably performed really well for 16th. Alright, so 15th we got GWS. Now, I'm probably going to cop a lot of criticism by doing this, but I think GWS, that they lose players, but they pick up some players. But the problem that I have, they've lost their best forward in Jeremy Cameron. I don't see anyone else really picking up the slack. The captain got dropped this year, well, last year I should say, and I think that they haven't played well consistently all season, and due to cover it has probably affected a little bit, but at the end of the day, you're there to play footy, and I had them top 4, to be honest, because I thought they would bounce back in a way, and they haven't. So, and from 2016, they have lost a lot of players that from that time, and they are a talented team, but they don't. Talent is a dangerous word to really say, because you can have as much talent as possible, but if you don't put that into work, then what is the point? So I think that we're going to see a lot, maybe GWS. Well, it wouldn't surprise me they around about 16 or 15 or 14, but I think when they are, I'm just going to give them 15th on the ladder for now. Now I got Sydney 14th on the ladder. So I think because they have probably rebuilded, and Buddy Franklin will probably play more games this year, in hoping. Sydney sell the farm to get Franklin and Tippett. Tippett's retired. Sam Reid hasn't worked because he's been injured. Buddy's been injured as well, so it does make it a bit difficult. But I think Sydney, if they can win 1 or 2 more games than they did last year, I think they can really do okay and really push it. It'll be a normal season, back to 23 rounds. So I think that would be an interesting time, really. 13th, I got Hawthorn Football Club. Now, they could be anywhere this year. They really could. They can be a couple spots down further, or wherever the case would be. They might go up maybe 1 or 2. But I think now they'll look at it. I think Hawthorn are going to be a really, about where they are. Like, they're about the same spot as they were this year, last year. So they could be the same thing, or they might go down a little bit more. Who knows? But I don't see much changes for Hawthorn as 13th. Now 12th, I've got the Gold Coast Suns. I think they're going to improve this year. I really do. I think they brought in some players that can really help them, and they're drafting as well, and they're making themselves look like, I want to play for the Gold Coast Suns now. The Suns, they've probably finished a little bit lower than what they thought, West finish could be on the bottom of the ladder, but that they can finish anywhere between 12th to about 15th. I think for me, if they need to start winning more. If they can, they'll do well at the start, but then they finish poorly. If they can have 2 or 3 wins and maybe show signs of improvement at the later end of the ladder, I think it'll be great, to be honest, because I see Gold Coast as a talented team, but I see them that if they put in the work and really show under Stuart Dew that they can perform at their peak best, why not? So that's the way I'm going to look at it for the Gold Coast Suns. Now 11th, I got Melbourne Football Club. Well, I can say Melbourne finished 9th, but they can be any. So Melbourne are a hard team to judge when it comes down to it, because the year before that the year before last year when they finished 9th and just missed out in the finals, they were 17th on the ladder. So I think that could have been the way, maybe the year before was an aberration, as Gary Lyon said on the couch. Melbourne have got a good midfield team, but they don't always show during games, and I really feel worried that it might be for Melbourne. So I think that maybe that could be as much as possible. 10th, I've got Fremantle Football Club. Now, I think Fremantle are going to be a particularly good team, as I say it, under Justin Lumley as well. Works really hard. I think they can be about where they are, but if they can climb up one more spot, I think it's good for Fremantle and good for anything else, realistically. So that's how I got it until this pre-season do start. Now, 9th, I've got St Kilda. Now, St Kilda's a hard one for me because they had a good year last year. They made finals. They lost to Richmond in a semi, and I want to see them do well, but I'm not 100% sure. Like, history, I think they're on the right track. I really do, but I don't see them as much as probably improving in the way that I probably do see it. So I think if I look at it, yeah, good. I can see St Kilda probably improving. Maybe if they can be in the top 6 again and play really good footy. But other than that, I think we are going to see some games that, if they do have a drop-off, hopefully it's not a bad one. If they move down like 3 spots, yeah, maybe. But as long as they avoid the bottom of the ladder and they can actually perform well, I think it's a good sign as well. Alright, St Kilda's 9th. Now, I've got the Western Bulldogs, not Western Bulldogs, I got Carlton in 8th spot. Now, this isn't because I know Pominos and Board, they'll watch their stuff. I think Carlton will jump and play finals 2021. Now, I think that because they are, they brought in some players. But the one thing that I see Carlton is that they were close last year, but I think they can perform better. I think they know what they did wrong. If they can, they've had a lot of chances that they give opposition head starts. It's okay to allow a couple, but you gotta have to fight back, and you don't see that in Carlton when they concede 5 goals or more. So when the opposition has a bit of a run on, Carlton lose. So if they can fix that by 2 or 3 losses and turn them into wins, I think it's a huge bonus. The opposition's going to have a really good maybe start and kick 2 or 3 goals in a hurry, but if you allow an opposition to kick 4 or 5 or even more than that, I think that you are giving, that you're not switched on physically and mentally, to be honest. And if Carlton can do that, great. I think they will. So that's how I see it. And it's just an opinion base. It's just before pre-season, so I will watch the pre-season games, and it might change. Who knows? Now, 7th, I've got the Western Bulldogs. Now, what can I say? They brought in Adam Treloar, and I think that they probably do have a good midfield team, but the problem I have is that I don't see the Bulldogs a team that can we go more than what we have? Can we jump up to top 4? Can we jump more than 7th on the ladder? Because they finished 7th on the ladder in the premiership year, and they have dropped off. They finished 7th. They finished outside the top 8 couple years, like 17, I think 18. They got bullied by the GWS in the finals, and they finished 7th, and they lost to St Kilda. They lost to St Kilda. They're more experienced, so that's a real drop out. Can they finish up? That they can finish from 7th down to 10th. That's how close it is. It's really hard to get a read on the Bulldogs. It really is. 6th, I've got Port. Now, Port Adelaide, I know I follow the pair, and he talks about Port Adelaide, and he talks about AFL content and all that, but I don't know. One good year, can they turn it around? Because that's their weakness. They can have one good year, but then they can drop off. So I'm a bit iffy. Port can finish anywhere from 6th to lower. If they do well next year, this year, then yeah, I really hope that is the case. Other than that, I'm not 100% sure. So I don't want to be clutching at straws. I'm just going to go on the safe bet and say that they might drop a little bit. But this is early season predictions video. So until pre-season hits, and I take a lot out of pre-season form, and sometimes I think with Collingwood as well, and I'll talk about where I put them, is that we cannot have good pre-season form but then do well. So I guess I tend to take that into consideration as well. So I think that's how I've got it, and yeah, certainly we'll see of that. 5th, I got Geelong. Now, they brought in Jeremy Cameron, and I think good on them for doing that, but I think with Geelong, and yeah, it's a bit iffy with Geelong and Brisbane as well. Can they bounce back from a grand final loss? And that's my question marks. So I'll definitely watch their pre-season games, and I'll get a good wrap out, and I'll definitely get a good feel as well. But no, I think with Geelong having them 5th on the ladder, I think it's an interesting time. So 4th, I got the Brisbane Lions. I think now it will be the way I think as much. So Brisbane are a good team. Not going to take away too much out of that, but I think they are going to bounce back really well. So I think they will finish off 4th. Now, can they do better than finishing, I think, 2nd on the ladder? And they won a final in Saturday Port, which was a big tick. But can we see Brisbane improve in the way that I think they can? And I think they can be in the top 4. Like, to me, it doesn't matter. I know teams have been on top of the ladder, like Port Adelaide, and they're supposed to be the best team in the competition. But that doesn't mean anything. shows nothing. So I think we're going to see Brisbane fourth for that reason of there's going to be question marks on them a little bit. Have they learned? Because you would have thought, oh yeah, they beat Richmond in a home final, couldn't get the job done against Geelong. So I think it certainly would have been a failure because having the games and having to play in just Queensland only and stay in Queensland, not travel as much, due to circumstances, and it wasn't their fault really. So now we're going to go to the last three. Now, I got Collingwood third on the ladder. Now, I'm going to cop a lot of comments from it. To be honest, just give it to me. It's early, yes I know, and the reason why I got Collingwood third, there is a reason why I did. I know we've lost 4 players, but to be honest, salary cap issues, and we had them. So if we're going to be outright complimentary to what I'm going to say, I think third on the ladder will be alright for us. Basically because we've got players that can come in and play the role, and I think having to be in Queensland and being there for a long time and actually having to hub in Perth for a 3-week period, it's not an excuse. We're back to 23 rounds of season. We're hoping to play in Melbourne and play in front of fans, and people like myself can actually go and watch us play. I am a critic of us, and happily to know that much as possible. So I'm going to say third for me is what I think. Second, I've got the West Coast Eagles. I think that will be an interesting challenge. I think looking back on West Coast, they finished 5th 2 years in a row, and they complained. So let's be honest, they did complain, and then the media in Perth called us dirty pies, and they lost by a point to us. That would have been a low light, no doubt. But I think West Coast will bounce back. I think that they've maybe got a couple years left, maybe up the top, so they're gonna have to make that run, and if they can do that, great. So I think we are going to see what's going to happen, but let's hope that we can start off with a bang with West Coast. And first on the ladder, I've got Richmond. Now, Richmond, I've got maybe 1 or 2 years left, maybe being top of the ladder. So I think they're going to be a good team, but back-to-back premiers, can they win 3 in a row? Who knows at this stage. So that's my top of the ladder. Coleman medalist, I think, I probably got Jeremy Cameron, to be honest, winning the Coleman medalist. Brownlow medalist, Brownlow medal, at this stage I'm going to say Dusty Martin. He's probably my guess. Grand final spot, I've got Collingwood and Richmond, and I think Collingwood will win. I think that we're going to have to win a premiership in the next couple of years. It's a do-or-die situation for us. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. It's just an opinion, guys. Don't worry about it too much. Let me know what you think. I leave it up to you guys to give me an opinion. So, like, comment, and subscribe. Tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets. Go the Pies 21. And as I said, let's get 'em, boys!